Hello and welcome to another episode of Burning Questions. Hi Alex, hi Sholin, hi Diego.
I'm
Hi,
Mane.
Mpana.
How's it?
Guys, me and Sholin have this beautiful hoodies produced by Fan. And yeah, I pretty think these hoodies are quite good and they look very nice and warmish. Alex, please tell them more about our hoodies and where they can get them. I don't know if you have that information in hand,
I
but I
do.
trust you.
I do. Yeah, so we are busy. We have recently launched a range of hoodies, and they're on the fan website. So you can find them there. We are not selling them as such yet, but we are at the moment just gauging interest, seeing if it's something that you guys are keen on having, and they feature some of our most prominent quote cards that have performed really well, that have really resonated with you guys at home. So head over to freedomadvocacy.net, have a look, and just let us know if you're keen on having one. And as soon as our site is ready to go, you'll be the first to know. We'll add you to a mailing list, and you can get your hands on one of them. So yeah, but I believe they're more summer vibes. They're not like for when there's load shedding and there's no heaters in the house.
Yeah, but if you're a cool kid, you will know how to utilize it, during this winter. So yeah, man, get yourself a cool fan hoodie, and yeah, man, drip is forever. And I think those are cool hoodies. So guys, let's get into our burning questions um segment. And our code card this week comes from Martin van Staden. And the code card basically says ANC socialist thinking is crushing South Africa's future. Without a doubt, I 110 and 30% agree. And I think the first comment, it comes from Marcel, and Marcel definitely agrees. He or she or they, I don't know their gender, and I don't want to miss gender people. So they say or they add, and they are destroying in all aspects this once beautiful and fully functioning country. Another African country that is going to the dogs, for example, is Zimbabwe, Angola, and Mozambique. But I think here we're focusing on South Africa mainly, and the damage that the ANC has done or is doing rather. Sholen, thoughts on this code card from Martin?
Yeah, no. When I
Yes,
saw this
sir.
scorecard on social media, it obviously performed very well because
Mm,
it resonated with a lot of people and the thoughts of many people. And I
mm,
absolutely agree with Martin in this regard. And the Marshall and the countries that they listed, because socialism has been tried in many countries and clearly it has not worked. In Zimbabwe and Angola and Mozambique, like there's been socialist. Tendencies in those countries, and it has
mm.
definitely caused more havoc than it has been helpful. And I mean, an example of socialism is centralized control. And as we just spoke, economically, our country is suffering under
Yeah,
ESCOM, which has centralized electricity in this country. And as we can see, centralization does not work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, wait, quick question. ESCOM obviously was around since the days of apartheid, right? Does
Mhm.
anyone have information of how it was running, or any like idea how it was running prior
Yeah,
to 1994 and the ANC's mess up?
Yeah,
Sholen?
actually, one of the articles, I'll be sure, but one of the articles that I've read is that during apartheid, so the apartheid government was a very nationalist,
Mm.
right-leaning government, and when it's right-leaning, it's usually called fascism, but it's very
Uh-huh.
similar to socialism. It's just the other side of the aisle, essentially.
Okay.
And during that time, ISCOM was also under the apartheid government. And ISCOM was actually, despite its centralization, it was
Mm-hmm.
supposedly one of the leading electricity generators in Africa. That's why
Mm.
we still, to this day, supply some of our neighboring countries
Yeah,
with electricity. But
true.
eventually, during that time, I think the apartheid government were very afraid that they saw that if they
allow everybody to just generate the electricity however, wherever, they will be less reliant on the National Party. And I think that the ANC has a similar fear actually occurring right now, that people will see no need for the ANC anymore if they can just manage the electricity by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that is interesting. That thought just came now because of this comment that comes from Matlatsi, and he says, I think he was shouting in this comment because he says, I don't want to hear any single white person trying to blame the ANC. These problems didn't create themselves, but they were created by you. The ANC is blindly trying to clean your mess, but because of financial resources at your disposal, you pay and intimidate them to fail. Diego, I'll give this one to you, comrade. Go wild. Please respond to Motlatsi.
Well, in responding to Mutlati, I think I should ask Alex a question. Alex, who did you pay at ESCOM?
Let's start there, actually.
And apparently, why did you pay these people? How much did you
pay them to
them?
intimidate?
Yes, if people knew how much we earn at FAN, we don't have money to pay officials at ESCOM, let me tell you. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Alex, did you pay Guedim Tashe? I'm just checking. I'm just making sure you pay that ANC comrade.
Yeah.
That one is busy with these people, probably in Rustenburg or Begersford, taking all the mining rights. But let's carry on to other discussions. Well, I think on my part, Bali, I think it's obviously nonsensical what Mutlati does say. Here is Alex. Here we've demonstrated that Alex is a white guy and he hasn't paid.
But Alex is a born free. Maybe Mutlati is referring to Alex's parents. Alex, no shade, please, man. You know.
Well, sure, go ahead, Sholen. I think you raised your hand. Well, I was about to say that I think what Mutlati is probably referring to, and he or she is quite wrong actually, but I think they are probably referring to how ESCOM operated during the apartheid times. They would supply electricity to the white population and not to the black population. So I guess he or she is probably trying to speak about that whole thing of now getting into 1994 and having to move from supplying electricity to the minority of the people now to everyone in the nation. It becomes a difficult thing, right? But at the very center of the failure of ESCOM is not the fact that they were expanding ESCOM from supplying a small group of people to now supplying a large group of people with electricity. At the center is the issue of incompetent workers. At the center is the issue of infrastructure that's not well maintained. At the center is the issue of new infrastructure that was built by the post-apartheid government. And a lot of times the quality of material used to build that infrastructure was quite dodgy. And it's failing quite a lot. So it's a nonsensical argument in that sense. But I do hear where they are probably trying to come from. But it doesn't change the fact that it's still a nonsensical argument to make.
Definitely. It definitely is. Maybe Alex, I think what not annoys me, but what is very weird for me in this comment is the part where he says the ANC is blindly trying to clean your mess. How is the ANC trying to clean anything? I think they're literally putting back the rubbish into the house.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, what are we seeing? Now we're seeing sabotage. So maybe cleaning the mess means pulling down infrastructure. I don't know. Like,
probably.
But I think we spoke about on Freedom Fanatics how you've got to look past the naysayers. But I think, like, and let me put it like this. Between the four of us and Mutlatsi, I'm pretty sure we all want the same things. We want a country that works. We want electricity 24/7 with a guarantee that it will be provided. Resorting to like shooting the messenger doesn't help anyone.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't help anyone's cause. So that would just be my comment to that.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe let's go to the last comment. It is from Stefan. and they say global liberal capitalism is killing South Africa with wholesale theft of our resources by corporations, banking cartels, industry, military complex, and global blah blah blah. Don't know what that word is. The ANC and the DA are all corporate sponsored by political parties, and they are puppets dancing to their tune. Maybe the first thing, I think this person is they're probably high or something. I don't know. No, damn, no, they weren't high. The first part, global liberal capitalism is killing South Africa. Sholin, Alex, you guys can take that. Are they high on something when they speak about global liberal capitalism killing South Africa?
I don't actually think it's global liberal capitalism, as they say, capitalism or liberalism, that has been killing South Africa. I think it's the only thing currently saving South Africa from actually going towards dire strait, because the opposite of socialism is, in fact, capitalism. And therefore, I think that we have constantly seen throughout the world globally that countries that respect freedom, respect, the economic and personal freedoms that we have, those are countries that always tend to succeed. But countries that follow the alternative, which is socialism, those countries do not survive in the context in the world, because clearly their policies or whatever does not work. About this comment also, Alex, before I hand over to you, is that I will say, Mbali, is that when he speaks about banking cartels and corporations and industrial military companies, all of these things, I'm not saying that is wrong, like maybe these things exist, but I will also say that we shouldn't be looking for boogeymen under the bed every time, because I must tell you this, that there is a party that has political power in this country, and when it comes to politics, those are the decision makers. So no matter the influence, they still have a decision to make. So we shouldn't take accountability away from them and to a banking cartel, while they are the ones that still have political power. So it's more of a dribble and distract, in my opinion. Yeah, Alex.
No, I think Sholin's handled that a lot more diplomatically than I would. And I think the thing, like I agree with the boogeyman theory, guys. The causes are in our grasp. We know what the problems are. We don't have to look for some, I don't want to say conspiracy, but some highfalutin boogeyman thing. Guys, the problem's there. We can vote it out. It's not rocket science, this one.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a good feeling about 2024. Yes,
I just couldn't help reacting to Sholin's facial reactions to while you're reading the comments. So I think that kind of gave it away.
It kind of did. And maybe Diego, last thoughts, but I do definitely think that Stefan is a proper socialist. I think he is.
I think so as well. I think to say that global liberal capitalism is killing South Africa is to say that South Africans are really not capable of thinking, not capable of being creative, not capable of creating anything, because essentially the global liberal capitalism market is a competitive market whereby demands on products there is a demand for products. And if a country and its people are able to respond to that demand, then that's good. The country's economy gets to grow and everything of that nature. So I think what has failed is South Africa and us as residents to compete at that global scale, to compete in that market. We really need to industrialize as much as possible, and we need to start producing stuff and selling to the market. Let's compete. Let's start with Eskom, as we have discussed today. Let's start with Eskom, open up that market. Let's compete. Let's see what South Africans come up with. They might come up with innovative stuff that might assist even the globe as a whole, which would be great. And so, yeah, I think it's an insult. I think it's an insult, but we really do need to pick up our socks and really begin to compete in that global market.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I think we've come to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll catch you same time, same place on Tuesday, 6 p.m. And yeah, do remember your freedom is worth fighting for.